Palatucci mob family has been gunning for you since you robbed First World Bank, one of their money laundering operations. It might serve you well to let them know it will cost them more than they can afford to keep coming after you, and our interests happen to align. The Palatucci, those snitching vermin, called the police on one of my operations. The cops sealed off one of my packing and production facilities, but the family has key police personnel in their pocket, so most of the drugs will never see the inside of an evidence room. Disgusting and dishonorable. I can't allow them to steal from the golden dagger without consequence. Now, I don't want to start a full-scale war with the police, so I need you to retrieve my property for me. I want my merchandise back, and you want to send a message to the Palatucci. Here's the deal. Get to my warehouse and pack up the shipment. I will, of course, reward you handsomely. Keep in mind, this is an active crime scene, and the police will be crawling all over the place. But after your impressive work down at the 51st Precinct, this shouldn't be a problem for you.
Hi, I'm Q. This is gonna be a little different from what I usually do on this channel, so let me set the stage. On May 26, 2025, Payday 3 finally got an update after 3 months of radio silence. Update 14 gave us a new difficulty rebalancing, the Judge Shotgun, now renamed to the Justicar, an overhaul to the Overkill Weapons delivery, better inventory management allowing you to pick personalized outfits and characters for each build, and of course, the long-awaited Armor 2.0. Which, how long was it ago? That checks out. Among all these relatively positive changes, there was one other thing that was added to the game. What's this? A new DLC heist? Yes, that's correct. Payday 3's first new heist of the year is a DLC heist called Party Powder. The partners, who played it a week before, all had the same reaction to the heist. That being, they didn't really like it. They said it felt bland and it was a huge asset flip minefield. But we all understood that due to the devs are gonna have way less material to work with. Heck, people have already compared the heist to Border Crossing, due to them both being an asset flip, having an optional meth cooking objective for no fucking reason, and them being released during a time where the game would be considered dead. But if anything, I'd like to make my own opinions about the heist instead of taking others' words for it. So, without further ado, let's get right onto it. The lore entails... Wow, look at me using fancy words, okay. After the gang's first world bank hit, the mob family, known as the Palatucci family, who was using the bank as a money laundering scheme, decided to put the gang on their radar. Coincidentally, Shayu's warehouse was getting raided by the Palatucci, who hired corrupt cops to steal drugs from said warehouse. If they succeed, the cops would be getting a big news headline from the press for the huge drug bust they conducted, and the Palatucci family would be getting the cocaine they had seized to sell. Everyone wins, except for us. So, the Payday gang sprung straight into action once they caught wind of this. The heist is set in an abandoned train yard at night, with 3 warehouses containing coke, money, meth ingredients, and of course the fucking meth lab. Fuck, we have to cook? Ah! The atmosphere of the map is very moody, grainy, and gritty, fitting into that Payday the heist status quo we've heard since beta. Look at me using fancy words again. The heist itself has many different routes you can take to pull the heist off. Which, something the partners got wrong is the heist actually has some decent enough RNG elements. Sure, it's not much when compared to other heists, especially the ones we've had a year before this, but still. These cargo containers also change throughout each session, as well as this train card. Again, decent enough to make it not feel like you're playing for Golden Shark. The main loot, coke, will be stored in wooden crates that work like how Shadow Raid's crates do. Some of them will have coke in them, and some of them don't, depending on RNG. And of course, we have the spawns. There are 4 spawns on the heist: the alleyway, the rooftops, and 2 in the train yard. Some being more preferable than the others, making each playthrough... Fine, I'll talk about the meth lab. Yes, this heist has an optional meth lab objective. And no, it's not very optional when you're like me and like to do all loot runs. The meth cooking objective is the same thing as every non-cook-off heist that has a Breaking Bad reference. There's gonna be a whiteboard somewhere in the map. In this case, it's here and here. The whiteboards will show the ingredients as orders. If you play Payday for long enough, you'd know exactly what happens when you put the wrong order in. Apart from that, it's the same thing as always. Put ingredients in, wait for it to cool down, add more ingredients, wait for the rock candy looking ash to turn from white to blue, and then repeat. It's that simple and tedious. Thank God I only have to do this 4 times or else I'm gonna fucking lose it. Apart from that, the gameplay is pretty straightforward. Enter the warehouse, steal shit, escape. Oh shit, this is Shadow Raid, huh? Well, at least Shadow Raid without the Japanese undertone it was known for. That and you can go loud. Anyway, something I'm gonna touch on briefly since there's nothing much I could say that many people hadn't already said. Gustavo cooked with his OST. The song is called Gatecrasher. My god, it's an absolute bop. It fits in with the whole heist theme, being dark, misty, and gritty. Honestly, it feels like track 01, a leaked unused heist song for the game that wasn't used anyway. Also, I should add, Gustavo used the Masterful Deceit riff for the control section. You cannot convince me otherwise that this isn't the Masterful Deceit riff. The song may not be for everyone. Gustavo's songs nowadays have that, what I like to call, the pressure point effect, where the song will sound off the first few times you've heard it, but once you really start listening to it, damn, it's such a banger. Alright, enough talking about how the sky is blue. Let's talk gameplay. The heist's gameplay during stealth is probably the best part about it. There are multiple routes to get in. Left, right, over, ziplining across the entire fucking map, you name it. The map layout provides loads of cover, giving you better sneaking room due to the fact that you won't start in casing mode, as you're pretty messed up. Fucking hell, it's the Shadow Raid comparison again, for fuck's sake! Stealth on this heist is leagues harder, even if it is nothing compared to Fear and Greed, Diamond District, and that one. It still provides a neat challenge for you to do, even if it left me losing more than a few strands of hair along the way. To top it all off, all the guards on this heist, except for the one camera guard, are replaced with cops. And like in Boys in Blue, once they notice something off, they will not go into search. Speaking of search, if you see the garage doors for the warehouses, do not attempt to open them during stealth. Otherwise, it will trigger a search. Doesn't matter where you are, if there's any guards to see or hear it, it will automatically trigger a search. The heist itself is simple. There are 3 warehouses on the map. You need to find QR codes to get into only 2 of the warehouses. Whether it be from a phone lying around or hacking a guard's ass and waiting in the hack circle, once you're in, you will find crates scattered around the warehouses, in, of course, fixed locations. Here, you can also find meth ingredients to cook with. The last warehouse is where you can cook the meth. But first, you'll need to find a red key card, which is either on one of the warehouse guards, in a locker, or on a desk somewhere. The order of the ingredients will be on a whiteboard in one of the bigger warehouses as mentioned before. To access it, you'll need the same red key card. Once you've found both the combination and ingredients for the meth, it's time for the most thrilling part of the heist. Waiting for the meth to turn blue. Yay! In the warehouse close to the alleyway spawn, you can also find a locked room that needs a code. To find it, you must hack into a computer and decipher the right one. Much like how we did in Golden Shark, No Rest, First World Bank, you get it. Inside are some meth ingredients and a huge block of coke equivalent to 3 bags. There are also lockers inside of the warehouses with some cash inside. alongside 2 QR code locked container crates with extra Coke inside.